So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is out, and I got around to seeing it. So here's my review for it. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is about this kid named Miles Morales who, gets bitten by a radioactive spider, the usual Spider-Man origin story. Except this time, he's not the only one. There's already a Spider-Man, and his name is Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man. So Peter takes Miles under his wing and kind of shows him the ropes of being Spider-Man, and along the way, several other Spider people show up, and it becomes the Spider-Verse. So let me start by saying that I really enjoyed this movie. This movie is a lot of fun. This was really cool, and I was cautiously optimistic going in because despite all the raving reviews about it, I wasn't completely sold. The trailers just didn't floor me at all. They were fine. I mean, it was whatever. And I thought the animation style was kind of odd. So going in, I really tapered my expectations, and they, for the most part, were exceeded. So let's start off by talking about the animation. The animation style in this movie it's very different. Let's just start by saying that. It's different than anything you've ever seen on screen before. Like several other people have said, it literally is leaping right off of a comic book, leaping right off the pages onto screen. And that, for the most part, works really well, which was kind of surprising because it seems like an odd concept. But they really did pull that off. Another thing that they did really well here is the humor. This movie is very funny all throughout, and they really mixed in the humor well with the action and the dramatic moments, and it wasn't at the expense of that. So the humor worked perfectly, and it was really sprinkled in at exactly the right moments here. Let's talk about the characters, because that is really the main focus of this movie, is the characters. Miles Morales being the main character, and it's about his relationships with Spider-Man, the original, Peter Parker, voiced by Jake Johnson, and Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy, voiced by Haley Steinfeld, which she's awesome. I'll see her again pretty soon in Bumblebee. So, and Miles Morales is voiced by Shamik Moore, who did an amazing job. The voice acting in this movie it's spot on. I'm not going to go through everyone, but they all did a really good job. I can't think of anyone that was miscast here. So, yeah, the main point of this movie is the relationships between the characters, and they did that really well, especially for those three. The other three that come along later, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man, from the 30s, the black and white Spider-Man, which was voiced by Nicolas Cage, was also a really cool character, and the anime girl. And this movie is really about just regular people. And it really shows that regular people can be Spider-Man. Spider-Man can be anyone. Because all they're doing is going around helping people for the sake of helping people because it's the right thing to do. Guys, this movie also has an amazing Stan Lee cameo. This is probably my favorite Stan Lee cameo of all time. It's great, it's perfect, and it really pays tribute to him well. And there's a little bit more to that in the mid-credit scene, so stick around. And speaking of the credits, also stick around for the post-credit scene, because the post-credit scene is awesome. It was definitely worth waiting for. I couldn't even hear what was going on because people were laughing so hard. So please trust me on this and stick around for the post-credit scene. Now, this movie, despite what a lot of people are saying, is not perfect. And I have a few nitpicks with it, such as the villains, especially Kingpin. Kingpin is a really weird character in here. And I mean, weird isn't necessarily bad for this type of movie, but the guy just looks really bizarre. Because everyone else basically looks like real people. And this seems like an actual universe. And when you see him, he almost looks like a giant, monster hunchback, and with a tiny head, and his body, it's like a bowling ball or a donut or something. And you're like, what is going on here? It's very distracting, and he's also a really cliche villain. The other villains are whatever. Again, that's not the main focus of the story, so I don't knock it down too hard for that. Another thing is the animation, while it's really good for the most part and really unique, sometimes this movie can be kind of hard to watch because there's a lot of blurriness in the background, and there's a lot going on, a lot of flashing. It's just sometimes it can be hard on the eyes and you lose control of what's going on. But as the movie goes on, you really start to get used to it, and it works a lot better. So my advice is to stick with it, because at first I was like, what? I'm not sure if I like this. But as it went on, I really got used to it, and it worked well. There's also something with a plot twist that happens involving one of the characters, and then there's an emotional moment that happens after, and I don't exactly feel like those things were earned very well. I can't really get into specifics about that without spoiling it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, a minor thing, but still something. Yeah, again, minor things. Overall, this movie is a really fun ride, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm going to give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse a 7.5 out of 10. Very solid. Is it as good as a lot of people are making it out to be? Probably not. Is it the best animated movie of the year? Probably. Is it the best comic book movie of the year? To me, no. It's not even that close. And I think you guys can probably guess why. If not, you'll see it soon in my best of the year list. And I'll also be doing, worst of the year. Actually, no. I won't be doing worst of the year. I'll do best of the year and most disappointing, because I just haven't seen enough this year. So, and then I'll also do most anticipated for next year. So stick around for that stuff. And I kind of hinted at something I was going to do leading up to something, which unfortunately I kind of ran out of time for, so that's probably not going to happen. Full disclosure, I was going to do the Dark Knight trilogy ahead of Aquaman, because they're both DC, even though the Dark Knight trilogy isn't in the DCEU. I thought I would do it, and I was maybe even thinking about doing a couple or all the DCEU movies and then ranking them. But I don't know, do you guys really want to hear me just tear apart Suicide Squad and Justice League? Because I could do that, and that'd be fun. I mean, sometimes, as much as I love movies, sometimes it's fun to just shit on movies that are not that good. So I could do that, and I'll probably do that heading into Shazam. As far as the Dark Knight trilogy goes, I kind of want to wait till I have a larger following, because it's such an iconic trilogy, and maybe it worked out for the best that I'm not doing it now. But yeah, anyway, I got a lot of stuff going on, finals, work, but starting in about a week, I'm going to be doing a lot. So stay tuned and be ready for that stuff. And guys, leave a comment. Did you see Into the Spider-Verse? Leave your thoughts on it. And if you have any requests for reviews in the future, let me know. But like I said, generally what I do is I'll have a theme. Like, an actor or a series related to something coming up. So I'll always open to suggestions though. So let me know. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. And I got a lot of cool stuff coming up, so make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification when I post a new video. See you next time.